to get the maximum benefit of meditation, regular practice is absolutely necessary. That's no surprise. Many activities like bathing and brushing your teeth have to be done every day to serve their intended purpose. Meditation is no different. To explore all that meditation has to offer and to nurture your process of spiritual growth, practicing each and every day is not optional. So, here are some suggestions to help you establish a consistent daily practice of meditation. First of all, practice at a time of day that suits your schedule. Some Orthodox Hindus believe that the best time to meditate is Brahma Muhurtam, the period between 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning, when everything is dark and still. That might have been a good idea long ago, before the advent of electric lights, when everyone went to bed by 8 or 9 o'clock. But today, that schedule is impractical for most of us. If you're a so-called morning person, someone who wakes up early, feeling bright and rested, then it's often best to meditate before you begin your daily routine. Since you haven't gotten immersed in everyday activities yet, your mind might be less susceptible to distraction. On the other hand, if you're a so-called night person, someone who gets up late feeling dull and sleepy, then meditating in the morning is probably not a good option. Avoid those times of day when you tend to feel drowsy, like after eating a meal. It's important to find a time of day that both suits your schedule and suits your temperament as well. Then, once you've found a time that works well for you, stay with it. Every day at that same time, sit in your chosen place and meditate. Before long, this will become an enjoyable routine, like taking a morning shower or going for an evening walk. It's important to be bright and alert when you meditate. Obviously, you should get enough sleep each night so you feel well rested. If you find it helpful, you could consider drinking a cup of tea or coffee before meditating. A few spiritual teachers advise against this because they consider caffeine to be an intoxicant. Personally, I don't see any harm in it, and I find it somewhat helpful. The basic principle here is to do whatever works best for you. Now then, for how long should you meditate each day? Let me explain with an anecdote. When I was first learning to meditate in the 1970s, I once returned from a workshop feeling really excited about a new technique I just learned. I felt so enthusiastic that I resolved to practice it for 45 minutes every day. Early the next morning, I was eager to begin. After practicing the technique for a while, I peeked at a clock to check the time because I didn't want to be late for work. Only 35 minutes had passed, so I closed my eyes and continued. Later, when I checked the clock again, 40 minutes had elapsed. And the next time I checked, I found that exactly 41 minutes had passed. Towards the end of that first session, I began to feel quite restless and uncomfortable, but I forced myself to finish it anyway. The next morning, I felt a bit less enthusiastic when I sat to meditate, and I struggled even more to complete the 45-minute session. After several more days of effort and frustration, I gave up the practice altogether. I made two mistakes back then. One was to overestimate my ability to sit comfortably for that long. The other was to force myself to complete every minute of the sessions. I was like a badly out-of-shape person who begins a new exercise routine, but overexerts himself so much that his aches and pains force him to abandon that routine in just a few days. By pushing myself to complete each 45-minute session, I succeeded in making my practice unpleasant. When any routine becomes unpleasant, your enthusiasm will wane, and before long, you'll give it up, often with the flimsy excuse that you don't have enough time. But the fact is, you almost always find time for things you enjoy. Even with a busy schedule, you find enough time to eat, to chat with friends, and even to watch your favorite television show. But you probably won't find time for activities that are unpleasant, whatever they might be. For this reason, if you don't enjoy your meditation practice, it's likely to get pushed off the bottom of your to-do list. It's essential to make your daily practice of meditation pleasant and enjoyable. You can avoid making it tedious by keeping it short. 10 minutes is a good length of time to start with. 10 minutes is long enough to produce some benefits, but not long enough to make you feel uncomfortable. Meditating for just 10 minutes a day is like planting a seed. A tiny seed can grow into a tall tree, and in the same way, 10 minutes of daily meditation can put down roots, so to speak, and grow into a thriving spiritual practice. In this way, you can gradually develop a love for meditation. Then, each day, at your chosen time, you look forward to your regular session. And after a while, you'll find yourself meditating for 20 or 30 minutes each day. Not because you think you should, but because you want to. This lesson concludes the first chapter of this course. With the next lesson, we'll begin the second chapter, Turning Within, Finding Inner Peace.